Good morning. This is here if you need it. The shadow is proof of the light. Think about it. The existence of a shadow is proof that there is light. Duality is in everything we do. It's in every crack, every crevice, every part of this universe. Everything is an equal and opposite. The size of the shadow has so many factors. It depends on where the sun is in the sky, where the light source is coming from, where the object is positioned, but there's always a shadow. And that duality is something that I feel everyone has to make friends with. You know, it's the same reason that you meet those people that are like, they go to church every day, or they you just know the types that you just feel like they just try to put on too much of like a I'm good and righteous and just. Like those are usually the people that have that have the biggest shadows. That's why it's hard to trust somebody without like a vice, or without, understanding that both sides have to exist in harmony. That duality can play out in every circumstance. It doesn't, not even can, it plays out in every circumstance of life. And I feel like the better we are at claiming it and naming it, the better chance we have at interacting with our shadow. I'm somebody who, I try my best. I try to be kind, I try to be helpful, I try to be there for everybody. But at the same time, I know that we're all flawed. And I don't try to run from that. I don't try to act as if I'm infallible. And to be honest with you, I don't really trust many people who can't acknowledge that for themselves. In any circumstance where you feel doubt, pain, confusion, you realize that they're all coming from a source of light. You wouldn't know what pain or confusion or sadness was without the existence of love and joy and happiness. And I'm finding more and more that my ability to sit within those states of the shadow and realize that they exist because there is an opposite, and that awareness of that is the reason that it is the reason that we progress. Because I made a video about this earlier, but it's the law of polarity. It's the pendulum swing of life, I believe personally that when I'm in a state where I feel like things just aren't going right, can't figure it out, can't win for losing, just can't seem to shake it, I try to meditate on the fact that the shadow is proof of the light. And me feeling this lets me know for sure, undoubtedly, that there is good. And I think that that's always very helpful for me to kind of get my equilibrium about me when times get tough. So, whether this is for me or anyone watching this, like, that is something that sometimes I tell myself, and I think it's a valuable tool. Everyone's different. I don't really believe in like doctrine to follow. I believe that there's been so many amazing teachers through time that can give you positive tools for a toolkit. I've in different versions of me, I've hustled my way through things. I've felt and successfully to some extent been like, all right, well, controlling my environment is going to help me through this situation. But as I've grown up and as I've matured more and more, at least just in the state I'm in currently, it's one of those things where my toolkit, the things that help me out, they evolve, they change. And I hope yours evolves and changes continuously. I believe that if you can meditate on the existence of good in the midst of circumstance, if you could meditate on the light source that is creating the shadow in your life, and not necessarily try to coerce it. I don't, it's hard to bend a shadow, but to me, I feel very good when I can acknowledge the existence of something that because it's not here and it's not showing up, it's providing me the contrast. And yeah, I just believe that all of us are constantly growing and learning, and those dark times are just as valuable. They're just as, if anything, they might be more valuable because there's a lesson attached to it. There's two states. There's being and becoming. And when you're in a state of being, chances are you're in a state of grace, of basking in the light, of love and enthusiasm. And a lot of times when you're in a state of becoming, it's hard, it's tough, it's gritty, it's gross. So depending on what state you're in, you sometimes there's different tools that will help guide you. Being able to name that is critical for me in any situation. If I'm walking around and I can at least acknowledge, like, hey, I'm in a season of becoming right now, it kind of takes the sting a little bit of the tribulations and complications, because that this is stockpiling for a new being stage down the road. So you can't give up. Because when you sit in those stages where things are tough and you're just being, which, once again, it's presence is the key. So if you could really get there, like, you're better than me. But just practically for myself, when I'm in a situation where I'm just like, dude, I can't shake it, I can't get right, being able to acknowledge that, hey, this shadow is the proof of light. Having this is the proof of grace and gratitude. It helps me shift the perspective. And perspective is the entire name of the game. The entire name of the game. So, going forward today, for any of us, just acknowledge that. There are certain mantras and things that can help push us and kind of frame ourselves so that we can best interact with our current circumstance. And for me, like I said, the shadow is proof of the light. Shout out to the sun just kind of cresting over. We don't have a big budget for things like this, so that's not a special effect. But yeah. So that's really all I have on my heart today. But I believe that if anyone needs that, or if I got to come back to it, it's always valuable to remember. So it's a new week. When I'm recording this, I don't know when anyone would see this, but it's a new week for me. And we've grinded it out for the last month or so. It's been a real becoming stage, but it's giving me opportunities to do things like this, and it's giving me opportunity to kind of assess my toolkit of the things that help me, because it's an ever-evolving process. But yeah, that's all I got. Let's have an amazing day.